Hi, I'm Bill McLaughlin, Editor-in-Chief of Furniture Today. Welcome to this week's edition of Frontline Friday. We're going to jump right into the news. For all of you who are calling and texting me, yes, the High Point market is going on as scheduled. The latest information we have, the High Point Market Authority has sent out a statement. The market is planned, it is scheduled, and in fact, High Point Premarket looks like it's going to be better attended than ever. It looks like it's going to be a very important market. We got word from folks there that sponsors are market ready. They have their samples. And for more on what's going to happen at High Point Premarket, I want to jump right in and talk to Tom Russell. Tom, you and Powell are actually working on a cover story for next week. Yes. Tell folks what they should expect, what's going on.
Well, basically, Bill, what's happening is that realizing that all these shows in Asia have either been canceled or postponed or rescheduled, that leaves a lot of opportunity for buyers that typically don't go to pre-market because they're in Asia to come to High Point. So what members of the sponsors committee have been doing, like last Tuesday they had a conference call discussing the opportunity at hand, and a lot of these folks have been calling on retailers that typically haven't been to pre-market in years, maybe 10 years or more in some cases, saying, look, we're open for business. They're going to be market ready. That's a requirement to be a sponsor. You have to be a certain percentage market ready. So in addition to being market ready with new product for April, these showrooms are going to be outfitted with a lot of inline goods, which is particularly important because a lot of these retailers are going to want to, we've heard, are going to want to get their hands on a lot of this product that's inline sooner versus later because of the anticipated supply chain disruptions that we're hearing about.
Well, the other thing is the number of companies that are choosing to open their showrooms for pre-market. I mean, just today I got a call from a company who was not planning and is typically not, and you'll have to check out our list. And I encourage you, every time we get an update on a new company who's planning to be open for pre-market, we update our pre-market list. So that has the list of all the sponsors as well as other companies who will be open. I encourage you to check that frequently because we are getting information from companies all the time who now recognize this opportunity for pre-market and will be opening their showroom. So please check in at FurnitureToday.com for that story, for the latest on who will be open for pre-market. Speaking of staying on top of things, and Wayfair reported their numbers last week. I don't know if on top is probably the right word. Their sales were certainly up, but so were their losses.
They posted a fourth quarter loss of $330 million, and they've also cut guidance for the first quarter for this year as well. So though revenues have doubled to almost $1 billion, they did lose $985 million last year alone, and currently they're $1.5 billion in debt. So the interesting thing is they were on a huge growth curve, and in 2018 they had a 36% growth rate, but in 2019 it was down to 26%.
So it looks like Wall Street was a little tougher on them this time than they have been on the past as it relates to their stock. I noticed their stock was down.
Right, the stock is down 60% now from where it was a year ago. So even though it's been a public company since 2014, it hasn't shown profitability yet. And with all the news about WeWork and Casper, I think investors may be more hesitant to support companies like Wayfair that aren't turning a profit.
Yeah, it does seem to be an increased focus on profitability. And one last thing, I have a special guest next week. Charlie Maloof from Broad River Retail will be my guest on the On the Record podcast. Had a lot of interesting insights about the company and also some interesting insights about his philosophy of business that I think would be relevant to a lot of people, whether you're on the retail or manufacturing side, that would give you some insights in how to be a better leader and how to help grow your company. So please tune in next Tuesday to On the Record. My guest will be Charlie Maloof from Broad River Retail. I'm Bill McLaughlin with Furniture Today, wishing you good business.